And welcome back, everyone, to another great episode of the Change Officer podcast here at STEP Conference. Really excited to have with us Hans from DTech, one of the few people who witnessed great growth of entrepreneurship and spearheaded most of it. Thanks for coming, Hans.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for taking the time. As introduced previously, we are looking for some answers here, and one of the major ones is what's the change ahead. Very often you can get that answer by studying and analyzing the past and understanding how things developed. You were here 10 or more years ago when entrepreneurship, startups, VCs, accelerators, programs, none of this was really present in a major way. Curious to hear from you from the first row, if you can compare 2010 and the 2022 when it comes to the whole ecosystem from your perspective.
Sure. So it has been a tour de force with maybe a few downturns here and there, but otherwise it just has been an enormous growth. So when we started out in the heydays, doing our baby steps with the Dubai Silicon Oasis, and wanting to go into this space, which was quite foreign to us. We started with a small incubator. We saw that there's really an interest here, and there was also a niche. Now we catered to bigger companies, more established companies, but we realized we were missing the boat on startups. And so when what we did with the incubator was that we had a subsidized rate for startups to come to Dubai, and that was really it. That set the stage for our next idea was to create DTech. And DTech is like the co-working arm and the umbrella of our innovation strategy. Very quickly, we attracted hundreds of startups, and if we fast forward today, we have more than 1,000 startups with us.
Wow.
1,030, I think it's the latest number. But we try to build an ecosystem around what it is that we're doing. So all along, all these past 10 years, we have been investing in startups, and that was really to know what's going on in this space.
To learn.
Exactly, to learn. And we have had successes, we have had failures, but mainly successes. And the change that we're seeing is that I know this is a cliche, but it's actually the best time to be an entrepreneur. I know you have said that many times, but it's really because the environment is just getting more and more amenable towards supporting startups. And right now, as a startup, you can fetch valuations for your startups. And there's so much money going around.
What are your thoughts on that? Like there is, more and more money coming in, more and more VCs being established. Some say there is money flooding in opportunities that are not good enough. When you look at the whole ecosystem, where is the biggest gap, and where do you think we should put focus on in the coming years to kind of make the most out of it?
I would say the new players. The VCs have always been here, but now we see that the VCs from abroad have found out that this is actually a great fishing ground. But we also have family offices suddenly wanting to try their luck with startups. Now we need to be a little bit careful here because not all family offices really know this space, and we don't want them to get hurt. We want them to be encouraged to invest in innovation, if you wish, because this is why it's so important to support the startups. And we need to innovate faster and faster and faster all over the world. So
how long we are accelerating at the rapid phase? For how long we can keep up with this acceleration?
Oh, there's so much more we can do. I could name you many areas that really needs disruption. And if you think about it, the whole sustainable wave is just starting, really, and there are trillions of dollars there. So, talking about change, where are the opportunities? Investors are interested in doing or getting more than just ROI. Yeah. We want to make a difference. Because what will we do with all the money if there's no planet to spend it on?
Have you watched the movie Don't Look Up?
No, I haven't actually seen that one.
It's an interesting one, but basically it's talking about two scientists who notice that there is a big comet heading planet, and the planet will literally be destroyed. We're going to be gone. And they're going to the president's office telling them, guys, like, we're literally going to disappear in a couple of months. Nobody's listening to them. And nobody just cares. These are just crazy scientists talking about, some crazy comet. Like, that's not going to happen. What are the chances? 99.9%. Well, it's not 100%, right? So I think that's maybe happening with topics like global warming and
I think we're
sustainability.
beyond that. Luckily, I think we're beyond that, and we are investing also for impact. There has to be a positive impact from what we're doing. It's definitely not just about money anymore, which I think is a really good thing. Because we need to use our minds and the minds of young entrepreneurs or just innovative entrepreneurs to create this change, and we need to do it fast. And we need to optimize. We cannot say, okay, we'll give 80% to the standard to invest in the standard business. No, because this business will not be there in the near future. We need to invest in, let's say, electric car companies and robots and AI and things like that. And that's something that we are really, if somebody comes by and they have a fantastic algorithm, we're there. That's what we want to invest in. Yeah.
If I were to ask you, where would you put your bets on when it comes to the next big thing that will happen, big breakdown that will open up like tremendous new opportunities? Where would you look at? Like, where would you keep your eye on?
Well, just to name one area which is definitely mega big and not without its perils, is quantum computing.
All right.
Now I've been on several discussion panels where we've discussed, well, what happened if it works and when it works? What happened to cybersecurity? So it's one of those technologies, if they come in the wrong hands,
it can be.
It could be misused heavily because no encryption is safe anymore. A friend of mine, and it's also a super hyped area. A friend of mine has a quantum computing company, and he's fetching valuations which are astronomical, and that's a testament to how explosive this area is. So
how far away are we from having a quantum computer in every office for now?
Well, we are still a bit away from that, but I know there's already beta testing in stock exchanges, and some revenue is actually made with this already. So I was a bit surprised by that, but it's definitely coming. They're cleaning up the quality of service, I think it's called, making sure that it's actually working properly. So that's definitely one area that we need to look out for. It's going to disrupt for sure.
Very interesting. All right. Before we wrap up, I have one final question for you. If you were given a new role, and that role is the Chief Change Officer of this region, what would be on top of your agenda to address?
I would try to make the life for the innovative minds even easier than it is today. That's an uphill battle, and it actually ties into what I just said. We need to innovate faster. Anything that you can do to make innovation run smoothly and safely, I think that is game changing in as much as it could actually save lives in 20 to 30 years from now.
Amazing. Hans, thanks so much for taking the time,
Thank you also.
sharing your experience and knowledge with us. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick chat with Hans, and we're going to make sure to bring him in our studio for a longer conversation. Until then, stay tuned. Thank you.